Coming up on Open for Business, we're highlighting the Bowie Baysox. Today on Open for Business, we're highlighting the Bowie Baysox. Adam Pohl, the Director of Marketing, and Will Yocum, a Baysox intern, are here today to give insight on the relationship between the Baysox and AACPS. Welcome, gentlemen.
Hey, thanks
so much for having us.
It's exciting. I'm a sports fan, so this is an episode I really was looking forward to. But I think because I know our viewers are more than sports fans, I think giving a history or an understanding of what exactly are the Bowie Baysox in connection to the grand scheme of baseball?
Yeah, it's a great question. First of all, of course, thank you for having us. The Baysox are the AA affiliate of the Baltimore Orioles. And that is sometimes because baseball doesn't have the same system as a lot of other sports, it can be a little bit confusing, right? So a good way to think of it is this. If the Washington Wizards have the #1 pick in the basketball draft, well, the next year that player is on the Wizards, right? And if the Commanders or Ravens have the #1 pick, that player's on playing in the NFL the next year. That's not how it works in baseball. There is a multi-tiered minor league system, and every player that gets drafted out of high school, out of college, or is signed internationally goes through that system. So when you're watching a Major League Baseball game, probably 98, 99% of those players have played AA baseball. And of course, we are the Orioles team in that AA ladder. So right now, or here late in our season, Jackson Holliday is the #1 pick in baseball from last year, the #1 high school player in the nation. And for the end of the 2023 baseball season, he played for the Bowie Baysox.
And that's really exciting because people sometimes understand, stars, but understanding the process of star making is sort of what you do. And so that kind of leads into my question of like AACPS is a school system, and our hope is to, make stars in education and life and business, etc. And so we have a relationship with the Baysox. So tell me how that relationship came about.
Well, the Baysox have been around for 3 decades, and I'm almost certain that the team has been working with the school system throughout that time. We have a reading program that has been incredible throughout the school system going back to the mid-1990s. We have a field trip program that used to be our education days. And in working with the school system about 10 years ago or so, we were able, through Anne Arundel County, to change how we directed that towards our students. And that has become our STEM education days. And it's just a great way to have a fun field trip, bring students out to the ballpark. But we've also been able to work on the other side of things in engaging our high school students in the county. And of course, 3 STEM schools. Glen Burnie High School, North County High School, and South River High School. And those students over the years have been able to do science experiments for the elementary school students that are there for the game on a field trip. So that's been a great partnership. And those are just a few of the things that we work together with the school system to do.
And so, Will, in your experience as a former student, like what were those days like to kind of go to something like that?
Oh man, you have no idea, because it's the best day of the week. Like that's the day you look forward to. Any kind of like field trip day, you look forward to it. And just me loving sports first and foremost, that was like just hit the nail right on the head, because like I really wanted to go. Even if people think going to a minor league game is like not as fun as going to like a big major league game. So like going to Camden Yards, could be better than going to Prince George's Stadium, but to me, I'm going to a baseball game on a school day. Like I could just get out of the classroom. It was fantastic, and I loved every bit of it.
And that part is exciting. So kind of forecasting the future, obviously dates and calendars are always in flux because life is what it is.
Sure.
But what are some things that you anticipate that we'll have partnered with AACPS coming up?
Yeah, so we're looking going forward into 2024 to even be able to have more days to bring students out to the ballpark. Obviously, we've been coming out of this COVID era, So we have not been able to revitalize the program to the lengths that it was, say, in 2017, 18, and 19, as we've finally been able to have field trips in the years of 2022 and 2023. So that's exciting. We have worked to try to do things for educators. So we've had big ticket events at the end of the school year for teachers and just employees in general, to be able to come out and enjoy a game on us. We have done new educator nights at our stadium. So we've tried to do events for teachers that are brand new to Anne Arundel County schools. So it's really so diversified as far as how we've worked together. And one of the coolest things is that we are now doing a college fair. I think we might be the only. There's 120 minor league teams, Lewis, right? So we're one of many, but I think we might be the only team that works with our local school system to put on a college fair during a baseball game. So that is an exciting event. Of course, instead of that being a field trip out for for elementary level students, that's more obviously for high school students. There's some middle school programs that are on that college path that come out as well. So that is wonderful, and we usually have 15 to 25 universities, both locally and nationally, that come out for that event.
That's wonderful. It sounds like that would be like one of the highlights, or did you have like a specific highlight of a time sort of partnering for any of the events?
Yeah, for me, I mentioned it already, but it's been working with the high school students in the STEM projects. It's just so cool. We give them a budget to be able to put forth, a very easy to execute science fair-like promotion or experiment, I should say, for the elementary school students. But we're talking about, them presenting to hundreds, thousands of students when they're at the game. So it's a lot. And our high school students over the years have done an extraordinary job. And what I found so interesting now that we're going through this, for 7th, 8th, 9th time with the students, is just the uniqueness of what they come up with. You would think that they'd be doing the same things year in and year out, and they're not at all. And so that's really, really been cool, because it's not a one-day thing. We're working with the students for months in advance, leading up and engaging with the students. It's a very, very rewarding process for us.
And I think one thing that's really interesting is that, there's an opportunity for internships. So we have sort of the science-based things where maybe it's not directly connected to baseball or the business side, but for example, for Will, like you have an internship program, and Will went to AACPS schools. And so what's the process for going into the internship program? And then Will, I'll have you kind of give some feedback about that. So what's the process to sort of set to have students be a part of the internship program?
Sure. So it's our Orange Ambassador program. It's a college program. We have had students from Anne Arundel schools that are high school students come in during our off season, right, and help as well. But our biggest program is this college program. It is great for those that are in a sports management path. But look, I was a music major, so you don't have to go that way to end up working in sports in this manner. But it is really a huge asset to us in marketing. It's a great way to learn the industry. Sometimes it's a great way to see if you're a good fit. Do I really want to do this, right? Do I really want to pursue this path? And we have had so many over the years that came from Anne Arundel County schools, went to college, spent a summer with the Baysox, that are now working full-time in sports on the management side, right? So we're not necessarily talking about coaching the players on the field. We're talking about the business of sports, and whether that is a sales path, a marketing path, customer relations path. There's just so many ways, merchandising. I mean, there's so many ways to work in sports, and obviously these opportunities are open for everyone.
And so for you, Will, like what was what led you to the interest with the Baysox? Because I'm sure you had other options and you made this decision.
Yeah, well, I met Adam years ago when he started the partnership with AACPS. He worked with my dad, and so I've met him for years. My dad and I kept going to multiple Baysox games throughout my life, so I just felt like it would be a great step into the sports industry. I study sports broadcasting, so this internship, though not having really anything to do with sports broadcasting or being in the press box, it was still a step into it. I made a lot of contacts. It was just a great way to get my foot into the door. And being in the sports industry, whether it be broadcasting, whether it be marketing, it's communications in general. You have to know the entire aspect of every job. You have to know the behind the scenes work. You have to know to be on camera. You have to know how to work with people in general. So I knew going into it I wasn't going to be doing any announcing this summer, but I knew I was going to get, a step in the door and understand a new perspective of how sports business works.
And so speaking of perspective, and I'll lead off with you, Will, and then you can sort of follow up.
Sure.
So what has the experience been like? Because internships really differ across the board about like what really happens. So for you, you kind of mentioned where you feel your path is, but then you've done some different things in the internship. So what has the internship been like for you?
So it was definitely an eye opener to how the business runs. It was a lot to it. It was a lot more than I expected. It was definitely some physical labor in there, so if anyone doesn't want to do any physical labor, probably isn't the best, but I enjoyed it because I had worked with a lot of fantastic people. It was just definitely an eye-opener to what the marketing team and the sales team has to deal with day in and day out through an entire season. And minor league season is different than the major league season, but it still coincides with how many games there are in a season, and there is a lot of them. So just the amount of work that goes into it and the amount of prep that needs to be done beforehand and just time management and being able to just coincide with each other, getting the job done for one common cause is really just it was fantastic.
And so what is, obviously you're looking at it from a different
Yeah.
sort of management perspective. So how have sort of the relationships with interns been? Because obviously they're sort of the ebbs and flows, but in general.
I think we love our group of kids that come annually, to the Baysox. I think that in 2023 we had an especially great group. They really bonded together. It gets you inspired too to see what the future of our business is. And I know that that's something that teachers and the like feel when they look at their students daily. But for us, it's such an important part of the year. It's a unique business to be open 12 months a year, but only have games during half of them. Our Orange Ambassador program is basically for about half of our season, right in the middle, busiest time of our year. So they do such a great job of when we don't have a game, doing a lot of the outreach to let the area know about what we're doing at the stadium, and then during the game, a fantastic job of interacting with our fans and putting on the show that people love between innings, all the games, all the different things that happen that people know that's not just Baysox baseball, but minor league baseball in general.
Right. And so if someone were interested or wanted to be a part of
Sure.
the internship program, what would be like the path that they would have to sort of do to get information about it?
No doubt, if you're in college and you're looking forward to it or looking towards a career in sports, it needs to be for college credit, but that would be it. So we do our interviews in the winter, February, March, kind of lead up to the season, and then the program really runs from May until August.
Okay, cool. So gentlemen, thank you so much for being here, and thank you for watching Open for Business.